Finally, he tossed up the spade to the level earth, fearful it was making too much noise now against the outer stone coffin. The cemetery stood amid a half-mile-long quad of neighborhood homes he would just as soon leave undisturbed. He could not afford waking so much as a dog. He got down on all fours. He clawed away at the dirt lying over the small coffin. He imagined what lay inside, what he had come for, his goal. He felt his pulse quicken, his heart pound. He felt cold and hot at the same time, and the cold rain only added to the chills following the sweats. His brain calmed him, talking soothingly to him, saying, "Once you have it, and you consume it, you will know a tranquility and enlightenment like none other." He kept digging and clawing the dirt away from the lid. Soon Darrell Thomas Cahill reached up over the lip of the grave to locate the crowbar. As he felt for it, he also felt that the temperature in the grave was far cooler than that overhead at ground level. Stretching for the crowbar, he heard the night sounds of the graveyard, leaves rustling along the ground, scurrying in unison with small vermin, dead branches scratching at tombstones, a haunting whir of the city's electric current coursing through the silence. His hand found the crowbar and his handheld, battery-operated bone saw. He brought both into the pit with him. With the crowbar held firm, he pried open the small stone lid. The noise of his rending the stone from its mooring sent up a soft scraping sound, like muted barking and crackling. A dog somewhere on the other side of the cemetery walls barked its reply. Darrell cursed under his breath. He had come a long way to find Groveland, a quiet old cemetery protected by a high wall on all four sides, its entire length and breadth. And he had spent many days and nights waiting to learn of a suitable burial in the papers. He had even listened for the weather report, and he expected the wind to soon turn to storm, rain, and possibly thunder and lightning. This was not his first grave-robbing foray, and the newspaper in Newark had made so much of his earlier raids that he'd had to come to Morristown for a fresh start. In Newark over the past year, he had earned a reputation in the press as the New Jersey Ghoul. The lid moved slowly under his bleeding hands now. He had finally made enough space to crawl through to get at the coffin inside. The actual coffin lid came open easily once he located the latch, and there she lay, as if in slumber, a little princess. Blood from his bruised and cut hands dripped onto the child's virginal white taffeta dress. Overhead, he heard the low rumble of approaching thunder, and the light sprinkle turned to full raindrops that found him even below the concrete lid inside the vault. "I only need your head, dearie," he said to the corpse in her ballet outfit. The papers said she'd been buried in her favorite dancing outfit, that she'd been a beauty pageant child, and he could see why. But he was little interested in her appearance, her name, or who'd she been in life, only that her brain was intact. "I only want your head," he confided, as he brought the battery-operated handheld saw to her throat. The thunder would help mask the noise from the saw, but even as he turned it on, light flooded into the chasm of the vault, and men and dogs descended into the pit and onto the stone lid, the dogs barking wildly. Darrell saw guns pointing and heard voices shouting for him to drop the saw and to come out with his hands in the air. He instead desperately turned to the dead girl and began cutting her head off until a powerful blow struck him unconscious, and he fell across his dead victim, whose head had been halfway severed.